This is not the best breakfast I ever ate, and I'd like my money back.
Even the most beloved fast food chains can't get it right 100% of the time, so here are 15 fast food items you should never order according to Reddit. Waffle House grits.
You never heard of grits?
Sure, I heard of grits.
Southern food is the definition of comfort food. Where would American cuisine be without the likes of mac and cheese, fried chicken, and grits? Well, the good folks over at Waffle House obviously feel the same, as much of their menu is devoted to down-home Southern cooking. However, if you happen to find yourself scratching your head trying to decide what to order while inside the famous Georgian chain, you'd be doing yourself a favor by avoiding the grits.
Why?
Waffle House grits tend to be lacking in the freshness department, according to a former cook. The Southern classic isn't the most popular item on the chain's menu and tends to sit for hours upon hours. To make matters worse, managers will try whatever they can to liven up their less-than-fresh grits in the hope that customers won't notice that said grits have seen better days. The Starbucks secret menu.
The secret ingredient is...
You can't help but love a secret menu. Who doesn't like the idea of walking into your favorite fast food chain and dazzling onlookers as you order an item nowhere to be found on the menu? Most of the major chains have some variation of the secret menu available. However, in the case of Starbucks and their fabled secret menu items, there really is no such thing as the Starbucks secret menu. While baristas will have no issue preparing you that butterbeer frappuccino, just make sure the cafe isn't too busy before you waltz in and demand your cinnamon bun cafe mocha or whatever your imagination conjures up.
Double tall lattes, one with no foam, 5 iced venti decaf percent lattes with a long straw.
Seems the Starbucks secret menu is a secret no longer. Fast food milkshakes. Let's start off by saying whoever invented the milkshake is forever in our debt. Unfortunately, according to a former Sonic employee over on Reddit, you may want to start avoiding the good old-fashioned fast food milkshake. While fast food shakes are undoubtedly delicious, the problem lies with the hygiene, or lack thereof, during preparation. Apparently, the milkshake machines are a chore to clean, and because of this, they're often overlooked and neglected. This leads to a sticky, crusty buildup that inevitably ends up in that smooth, creamy shake you just ordered. Ew, ew. Combine that with the fact that the fast food shakes are often higher in calories than advertised, and it seems it may be best to avoid the milkshake during your next trip to a fast food chain. Jack in the Box Bacon Cheddar Potato Wedges. Let's start off by saying that this particular Jack in the Box item is quite popular. With that being said, the cheesy potato wedges are about as authentic as a $3 bill. Not only is the cheddar used in the cheddar potato wedges nowhere near real cheese, the bacon is also fake.
Would you like to sample our vegan bacon? 100% meatless.
Surprisingly, despite a former employee taking to Reddit to warn potential customers just how fake the cheese-covered wedges were, it didn't seem to have any effect on lovers of the cheddar wedges. In fact, a large majority of fans were not only unfazed by the news, but have also defended their beloved cheesy potatoes, taking terms proclaiming the cheddar wedges to be the best late-night snack. Taco Bell Steak and Beans.
My burrito! Another one?
When you think Mexican fast food, you think Taco Bell. And while the food is by no means what a Mexican grandmother would serve up for Sunday dinner, it's tasty and gets the job done. However, when trying to decide what you're in the mood for the next time you happen to visit a Taco Bell, Reddit users urge you to avoid the steak and beans. Why? Well, for starters, Taco Bell's beans aren't your traditional beans. Coming in a vacuum-sealed bag, the bean powder is poured into a heating tray before adding water and mixed thoroughly into a brown slurry slightly resembling refried beans.
That's gross.
Then there's the steak. Another Redditor posted that, if left out too long, the steak becomes less a slice of tender beef and more like hair gel. As appetizing as that sounds, after hearing the unfortunate news about the steak and beans, ordering the nachos may be the best course of action. New to BabbleTop? Then how about hitting that subscribe button? It only takes one extra click. Thanks. Subway Tuna.
I pre-ordered a tuna sandwich, and those things can turn on a dime.
Most people who eat at Subway have nothing but love and admiration for the selection of subs the chain offers up. Unfortunately, not all the sandwiches at Subway are created equal, such as the tuna sub. What can we say about Subway tuna? Well, for starters, the tuna served up at Subway is barely tuna at all, as the good folks over on Reddit have made abundantly clear. The chain's tuna salad consists mostly of mayo, and while Subway tends to advertise the tuna as a healthier option, the excessive mayo pretty much negates that. If that weren't bad enough, the tuna is often left out, and that same tuna will be used for days.
Not fresh enough.
Now, do most customers expect the tuna going into their sandwich to be fresh out of the ocean? Likely not, but someone should let the good folks at Subway know there's such a thing as a middle ground. Subway meats.
Meatball marinara. No.
Okay, so meat isn't absolutely necessary for a sandwich. However, the majority of sandwiches served up at Subway are meat-based. With that in mind, you'd think the quality of Subway meat would be top tier. Well, you'd be wrong. One former employee stated that Subway meats, particularly the chicken, is less AAA prime chicken and more of a chicken-flavored mass than anything resembling actual poultry. Another former employee commented on the state of the deli meats once they arrive in the store. Covered with a mysterious pink slime, the cold cuts seem more like a science experiment than a potential lunch. If you happen to be a gambler, then step on up to your local Subway counter and place that order. Otherwise, perhaps avoiding the sandwich chain is for the best. Dunkin Sandwiches.
Watching you eat sandwich after sandwich after sandwich.
Why stop at donuts when you can give your faithful patrons sandwiches, right? This is exactly what Dunkin has been doing for some time now. However, the quality of their sandwiches doesn't quite stack up to that of their famous donuts. So let's start with the breakfast sandwich. Is it tasty? Sure. Is it greasy and generally not great for you? Unfortunately, yes, as one employee who took to Reddit explained.
It's gross and unhealthy.
While the donuts are just fine, the sandwiches should be avoided. The sandwich situation at Dunkin is just plain bad, as the eggs in the breakfast sandwich come pre-cooked and the chicken comes in a can. Here's an idea. If you feel like a sandwich, do yourself a favor and just go to a deli. Fast food mashed potatoes.
Whoa, mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes aren't really the standard fast food side. Granted, there are chains out there such as KFC and Popeyes that serve up fluffy, buttery clouds of potato goodness. But for the most part, mashed potatoes are more of a home side dish. But the chains that do offer mashed potatoes may want to invest in either a cookbook or a few culinary classes. A Reddit user and a current KFC employee stated that the mashed potatoes served up at KFC are anything but fresh and are, in fact, powdered mash. This also applies to the famous Southern gravy that often tops those mashed potatoes. While this practice is by no means out of the ordinary, even within the comfort of your own home, most employees recommend you order the fries instead of the instant mashed potatoes. Little Caesars breads.
That's the best thing since sliced bread.
Nobody will argue that Little Caesars isn't exactly what it advertises, cheap and delicious pizza. The same can be said about all of their products, including the crazy bread and Italian bread. The problem isn't with the bread itself, it's the butter, or lack thereof would be a more appropriate way of describing the substance slathered all over Little Caesars bread. A former Little Caesars employee took to Reddit to make it known that the butter-like product didn't need to be refrigerated to stay fresh. While some may find the idea of synthetic butter coating their crazy bread less than appetizing, other former employees have stated it can get much worse. Once again taking to Reddit, a former Little Caesars employee reported potentially dangerous things, such as mold popping up on some of the items within their local outlet. So consider yourself lucky if the only issue plaguing your breadsticks is something that's not quite butter. Taco Bell ground beef. Taco Bell can hit the spot when in the mood for something sorta kinda Mexican. That much is true. But let's be honest, one look at Taco Bell's ground beef will tell you that there's something else going on there. Sure, it tastes pretty good, but the way the ground beef is prepared leaves much to be desired. According to Reddit, Taco Bell's signature beef is shipped into the locations in vacuum-sealed bags and then boiled within the bag before making its way to that soft taco you just ordered. The result is the soupy brown sludge that slightly resembles ground beef.
It meat's meat, although none of it was meat.
However, once all the proper seasoning is added, the brown sludge takes on the appearance of presentable, savory ground beef. Other Reddit users suggest doing yourself a favor and ordering something with the chicken instead of the ground beef. Wendy's chili.
I like to bring in some of my Kevin's famous chili.
While some might love the fact that Wendy's serves up quite a few different fast food options other than burgers, here's what's happening behind the scenes. Essentially, Wendy's chili is made using the same meat used for their burgers. While that doesn't sound that bad, the problem lies with the fact that the burger meat is from the unused leftover patties. This, of course, means that the ground beef in the chili you just ordered is the old, dried-out patty that never got the chance to be featured as part of a Baconator. If that wasn't enough, occasionally the employees will scrape the ground beef bits from the grill and add it to the chili.
Why waste food?
Still, there's something to be said about finding creative ways to avoid food waste. Movie theater popcorn.
Evan, popcorn?
Have you ever gone to a theater and tried to watch a movie without popcorn? Tough task, right? It seems like popcorn is just part of the overall theater experience. Unfortunately, one particular Reddit user has dropped a bomb on moviegoers, revealing some untold truths about the buttery snack synonymous with a night out at the movies. The user explains that you should avoid ordering movie theater popcorn when attending the first showing of the day. The reason being that the popcorn being served for the first movie of the day is usually reheated popcorn from the previous night. While this particular Reddit user was speaking about a specific movie theater, it's easy to imagine movie theaters around the country practicing the art of thrifty popcorn chicanery. The user also mentioned how dirty the floors tend to get at that particular theater. This, of course, isn't exactly breaking news to anyone who's ever taken a stroll along the theater aisle only to have their shoes stick to the floor. McDonald's fries without salt.
Would you like some fries with that?
Nah, I'm alright.
There's something about McDonald's fries that just separates them from the other fast food chains. Maybe it's the potatoes, or perhaps it's the oil. Whatever it is, those golden fries seem like pure heaven when they touch the tongue. They also happen to be fairly easy to prepare. That is, unless you happen to order them unsalted. Yes, there is a select group of people out there who choose to order their fries without salt, wishing to have a salt package included with their no-sodium fries instead. While this may seem harmless enough, it's best to avoid this particular practice. The good folks over on Reddit have warned customers who do this that this forces the McDonald's employees to essentially perform double duty. The McDonald's employee will have to prepare a fresh batch of fries without salt, which can be both time-consuming and annoying, especially since the customers who do this aren't doing it for health reasons. So if you must salt your own fries, whip up a batch at home and salt away. Anything from Applebees.
We have a 4:30 reservation at Applebees.
Applebees has long been a destination for families looking to dine out while not having to break the bank. Another plus are the seemingly fresh meals served up within the restaurant. However, you might be surprised to find out that the dishes aren't as fresh as you thought. According to Reddit, most of the food served up at Applebees is delivered to the restaurant in frozen, vacuum-sealed bags. To make matters worse, the food is then microwaved or placed in boiling water.
You're supposed to get frozen food the last, not first.
The finishing touch for the beef or chicken is to place it on a grill for a few minutes for those oh-so-important grill marks, giving the appearance of sizzling meat hot off the grill. Not exactly fresh home cooking, is it? Order up more great videos. Just tap or click, and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.